From the Notre Dame High School Stadium, RCN Sports presents Colonial League Basketball Action Game 2 of tonight's high school basketball doubleheader. It will feature the Bulldogs of Northern Lehigh. They come in with a 1-1 record on the young season, and they will take on the hosting Crusaders of Notre Dame. They come in with a perfect 2-0 record. Good evening and welcome, everyone. Chris Mike along with Dennis Lobb. Glad you could join us for school basketball this evening from Notre Dame's gymnasium. And we have two teams, quite frankly, that are kind of going in opposite directions. Notre Dame, a favorite in the league once again, 8 juniors, 8 seniors, and a Northern Lehigh team that is struggling to get the underclassmen up to the varsity level and in the mix.
Yeah, it certainly looks like this is Notre Dame's year by all accounts. Northern Lehigh took that position for the last 2 years. Now it's a little bit different for Rich Ortner, but he does have a good class coming up. The JVs were 21-2.
Certainly a lot of talent on the Northern Lehigh roster. The junior varsity team last year coming over to varsity this year. We'll take a look at the Northern Lehigh starting lineup. Hayden Charles is a guy that we're familiar with, got quality minutes last year with the varsity team. But the other 4 starters and the top 3 guys off the bench, a lot of potential. But again, we have not seen them play with too much time at the varsity level.
Yeah, John Haberling is playing a power forward position, and I don't even think he's 6 foot tall, but he could jump out of the gym. Bobby Hahn is a good point guard that's coming in averaging 9, and Demko's also averaging 9, but Charles is their main scorer.
And as we take a look at the Notre Dame starting lineup, you don't want to blink because you might miss a line change. Pat Boyle in the first 2 games has been substituting very freely. In the Palisades game on Friday, he had all 13 players on the floor less than 12 minutes into the ball game, and he said he's going to be pretty much doing the same thing tonight.
Yeah, that'll be good for you with your statistics, but, you know, Joe Gianjovi inside is a fine inside player along with Andrew Mitzak. Max Hughes is back, a perennial all-star at guard, so they have quality depth. They have 9 seniors on the team, so they definitely have experience.
Notre Dame and Northern Lehigh, Colonial League basketball coming up next on RCN Sports.
Since 1937, Walter's Pharmacy has been making life easier for you, the name you trust most when you need your prescription filled. That's because getting your prescription right is our #1 priority, and only Walter's Pharmacy delivers anywhere in Allentown for free. Our wide selection of health products and mobile equipment, as well as our convenient hours, make Walter's Pharmacy the fast and convenient choice.
I went to Walter's Pharmacy and they were able to supply all of my child's needed medications.
I call Walter's Pharmacy for all my prescriptions and healthcare items and have them delivered to my door.
Walter's Pharmacy in Allentown.
Let's go get Yaakov. You know it's always been the best. Let's go get Yaakov. With quality that beats the rest. They got cheesesteaks, French fries. The famous Yaakov hot dog is known worldwide. Let's go get Yaakov. The secret sauce is one of a kind.
Yaakov's, an Allentown tradition.
Hi, my name is Joe Stellato from Freedom High School boys basketball coach, and today's skill we're going to be learning how to box out. The game of basketball, we always need to rebound the ball, and especially on the defensive side, so I'm going to be the defensive player and attempt to box out a quite larger player. I recruited one of my players, Andy Stein, here tonight, and what we're going to do is after he shoots the ball, I'm going to demonstrate how to box out properly when you're inside the paint. So at this time, I'd be covering defense on Andy. Andy would take the shot, okay? After the shot is taken, all right, go ahead, take one. All right, after the shot is taken, I need to find my man, which is here. I need to locate him and physically grab him and find a place where I can box him out, okay? So once again, he shoots the ball, I physically find him, and I open up, and I use my body. I must stay low because look at the size difference. I have to keep him from pushing me underneath the basket and him being able to get the rebound. I need to get low, bend my knees, use my weight, and get my elbows up so he's not going around. All right, so once again, we're here, we find, we locate, we box out. All right, well then, once that ball, you locate that ball, you go and get it. All right, now, we also have to rebound the ball as a guard. So let's go outside, and let's say for now Andy Stein's a guard, okay? I'm defending a guard. Let's say the shot is taken away from us now. The shot is taken. I have to once again locate my man. I need to physically find him with an arm bar. I physically found him. Now I need to locate the ball. As a guard, we don't want to stand out here and be boxing out and allow other people to grab the ball, okay? So now, outside the paint, what we teach to do is physically find, locate, and go get. And that's how we rebound outside the paint. So it would be here, I'm defending, I saw a shot goes up, I find, I locate, and I go get the ball, all right? So those are the two boxing out skills, one inside the paint for bigger guys. Guards also need to learn how to rebound the ball, so that's how we effectively rebound the ball from outside the paint. So if you can do those two things, you'll be a fine basketball player.
Welcome back to Notre Dame. Northern Lehigh starters just about to be announced. Bulldogs coming off a loss to Salisbury. Falcons playing very well early this season. First player out is Bobby Hahn, 5'7" junior point guard, averaging 9 points per ball game. Next out, the two guard Mitch Demko, 6'1" senior. He's also averaging 9 points per ball game. Power forward John Heberling, 6 foot senior. He's averaging 4.5. And the center, Nicholas Appis, 6'4" sophomore. He's averaging 2.5. And number 50 is Hayden Charles, 6'4" senior forward. Leads the team averaging 15.5 a ball game. Rich Ortner in his 9th season. 132 wins and 82 losses. Now for the hosting Crusaders. 2 impressive wins in the Jeff Daly basketball tournament last weekend, the first annual. Paying tribute to that great former Notre Dame basketball player. First player out is Andrew Kohler, 6'5" junior forward. Number 22 is David Salerno, 6 foot junior guard. One of their main three-point shooting options. Next out is number 5, Joe Gianjobi, 6'3" junior center. Had a team-high 12 points against Palisades last Friday night. Andrew Mitzak, 6 foot senior guard, next out. And number 32 is Max Hughes, 6'1" senior point guard. Pat Boyle, the head coach in his 13th season, 232 wins, 103 defeats.
Officiating tonight's ball game, on your left is Larry Ott. On your right, Jim Barker.
We mentioned Northern Lehigh, in all probability, at least the early part of the season, in rebuilding mode. They have a very tough start to the season. In the morning call following that loss to Salisbury, Rich Ortner said, we have to be very careful or else we might end up 1-5 right before the holidays.
Yeah, that would be a tough situation to climb back. Definitely at that point you would rule out the division championship, but the wild card's always available.
Northern Lehigh, we mentioned the pregame show, a very talented JV team last year. They went 21-2. We'll see if they can step up against the favored Notre Dame team today. Crusaders win the toss in the home white jerseys. Kohler over to Mitzak. In the corners, Max Hughes. 4 returning starters for Notre Dame this season. Lost to Minersville in the quarterfinals of the district playoffs last year after an 18-8 season. From the free throw line, turnaround jumper is good by Max Hughes.
Northern Lehigh in a 3-2 zone. Notre Dame in their patented man-to-man.
Bobby Hahn, the point guard for the Bulldogs, hands it off to Hayden Charles. Charles, the regular small forward now. We saw him come off the bench. Did a nice job with that spot jumper and also more comfortable driving to the basket, even with that size of 6'4". Inside move, Appis shot is blocked. And coming away with the rebound is Andrew Kohler. Shot in tight to the hoop is good by Gianjobi.
Gianjobi making his presence first with a defensive rebound, then he hustles up and gets an offensive rebound with an easy putback.
Giangiobi was 5 of 9 from the floor for 12 points in Notre Dame's first game of the year. Driving layup is good by John Heberling, his first field goal. Long-range three-point shot, no good by Salerno. Follow, no. And the rebound pulled down by Charles. Running inside, Demko. Out of control and is called for the charge. First foul on Northern Lehigh.
Notre Dame getting 2 offensive rebounds, which against the zone defense, that's why you play a zone defense, so that you're in good position for boards. And Notre Dame having no trouble getting offensive rebounds already.
Mitzak was left wide open down low until the Bulldogs found him. It was too late, and Mitzak has his first deuce.
That time the zone didn't rotate quick enough, and Mitzak was barely contested for the put in.
Demko got stripped, recovers. Dangerous cross-court pass. Charles came away with the basketball and gets the friendly roll. Notre Dame, 16 players on the roster, 8 seniors and 8 juniors. Pull-up jump shot is good by Andrew Kohler. 4 different players have scored field goals so far for Notre Dame.
Using good patience, and they're getting real nice shots. They move the ball a couple times, and they're getting, you know, good, easy 15-footers.
Backdoor pass denied by Giangiobi. Bulldogs reset with Charles. Over to Demko for 3. Floorboard chased down by Demko. Now Hahn, a three-point attempt. And Northern Lehigh will get it back. Making contact with the basketball and the sidelines was Giangiobi.
Notre Dame even playing man-to-man on out of bounds. Many teams play a zone, you know, on out of bounds. Pat Boyle not scared.
Charles for 3, and Northern Lehigh 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. Hughes in transition, Mitzak. Now Giangiobi. Up top for the Hughes 3, no good. The follow by Kohler is good. And one thing about Pat Boyle teams, no matter where you put them on paper or line them up on the floor, these guys seem to do a little bit of everything well.
They're very interchangeable, and that's a very good observation, Chris. They hustle, though. I'll tell you, they do not stop.
It's Demko with an awkward-looking shot, but they get the ball right back. Heberling got pushed, and Northern Lehigh will have it back underneath their own basket. Rich Ortner said he only goes about 8 deep right now, and quickly, 2 players coming off the bench. Jordan Whalen, 6'1" sophomore, the younger brother of the MVP in the league last year. And Evan Bealey, a 6'3" junior, averaging 8 points a ball game. He also saw some time with the varsity team last year. Comes out on the floor. Bigley down the lane and lays it up and in.
Real nice pump fake drive to the hole. Pretty easy, too.
Three ball from Salerno, rims out. Mitzak was fouled on the way up, and he will go to the line.
In the first 4 minutes, that is their 4th offensive rebound. Now, Mitzak, I believe, got away with one. Let's watch in the corner here if we can. Watch Mitzak. He pushes number 22, Jordan Whalen, right out of the way to grab that rebound. He's lucky he wasn't called for the offensive foul.
And now the officials say Mitzak was not in the act of shooting, and the Bulldogs intercept the inbound pass. So that is a missed shot attempt for Mitzak. And a steal by the Crusaders. In transition is Hughes. He is fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2. One of the groups of players we will see for the Crusaders coming on is the players known as the 5 freshmen, a all-senior group that plays all pressure defense.
Get a look at the foul. I believe they called body contact because Hayden Charles looked like he had it clean coming off the shooter's hand.
This free throw is good by Hughes. As the Crusaders got that last shot attempt off some pressure defense, but it's not the stifling pressure defense that Notre Dame of East Stroudsburg and Palisades saw last week.
No, right now Hughes is primarily the guy that's given the full court. Now they're going full.
Nick Piazza, 6'2" senior, checks in. And turnaround shot, spins home. Andrew Kohler, his third basket. And Rich Ordner is going to call timeout and talk about this 5 men in the backcourt defensive look that Notre Dame will throw, it seems, this year. 3:11 left in the opening quarter. Notre Dame out to a 14-6 lead.
You look at Charles, turns it over here, almost commits a foul, and here comes Hughes with a fine dish, and Kohler makes a real nice move, but he puts it off the glass. He's at that angle where, you know, the glass is your friend, and he puts it right up in the box, and it drops in.
Notre Dame in the early going here, 6 of 11 from the floor. Northern Lehigh, 3 for 6. And Andrew Kohler leading the way, 3 for 3 from the floor with 6 points. You mentioned they had 2 impressive wins, including the 79-44 win over Palisades, and then defeated Notre Dame of East Stroudsburg. 3 players in double figures in both of that game. And the 5 pressmen that we mentioned normally consist of Ackerman, Leary, Tannhauser, Birdie, and Koppenberger. Off the hands of Andrew Kohler. Blair Rossetto has checked in for Notre Dame during that last timeout, as has Bart Palumbo. Rossetto, a 5'10 junior. Palumbo, a 6'2 senior. Charles, turnaround jump shot's no good. The follow is up and in by John Heberling, his second field goal.
Heberling showing that jumping ability, flies in there and gets that offensive rebound and puts it back.
Turnaround shot by Palumbo is good. We asked Rich Ordner before the game, how do you keep track of scouting 13 different players? He just kind of shook his head and said, we'll try to do our best. Nice quick transition basket there. Biglia's second field goal.
But like you said, Chris, these guys are basically interchangeable. And with the exception, of course, you know, your inside guys. But, you know, even those inside guys step out and hit some threes on occasion.
Illegal screen set by Palumbo. That is his first team second foul. Now Charles bringing the ball up for Northern Lehigh. And takes it coast to coast. Aiden Charles, his second field goal, now 2 of 4 from the floor. And Notre Dame calls a timeout. The Bulldogs have worked their way back into this ball game. Just a 4-point game now after Notre Dame had an 8-point lead just a moment ago. Time for tonight's R&J Carpet trivia question. Which Colonial League division had the most overall victories during the 2007-2008 basketball season? We'll give you the answer to that in just a moment. Of course, Northern Lehigh in the West Division, along with Catasauqua, Northwestern, and Palmerton. Notre Dame in what figures to be the most competitive Colonial League division this year. Wilson and Bangor expected to join Notre Dame atop the elite in the Colonial League. And Penn Argyl also expected to have a pretty decent season.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about Bangor. I'm very interested to see how they make out this year. I know they had that transfer from Pius, that Eric Smith. I saw him play basketball already, and they have some good guys back and some size.
Turnaround 15-footer, no good by Hughes. And the loose ball is picked up by Bigley, who's had a nice first quarter. 3-on-2 advantage, Crusaders. And the layup is up and in by Max Hughes. On shovel pass over to Heberling, and he is fouled on the way out. That is a third team foul on Notre Dame.
Right before that, what we missed in the replay was a beautiful fake and drive around by Heberling. He got his man totally committed in the air and then took it hard to the hole and drew the foul. He's really doing some good things out there, John Heberling.
Colombo picks up his second foul. Giangiobi comes off the bench and comes in to replace Kohler. As Heberling converts 2 at the free throw line. Outlet pass to Charles. Forces it up a little bit, and the rebound is pulled down by Giangiobi. In transition, Rossetto back up to Giangiobi, who shoots the 3, no good. Follows up his own miss. Hughes from 10 feet away, no good. Giangiobi on the offensive board. Well, they've only missed 7 shots tonight, but as you mentioned earlier, just doing a great job on the offensive boards.
That's 5 total boards for Giangiobi, and 2 or 3 of them come off the offensive glass.
From the baseline, Nick Piazza, his first field goal. This ties Notre Dame's largest lead of the game. And the Bulldogs playing for the final shot. Now Notre Dame leads 22-14. Hayden Charles trying to keep it close. But the Crusaders lead by 8 after 1.
These days I leave my car at home. I ride the bus, the smart choice.
Atlanta Metro is the comfortable, fast, clean, and low-cost way to make your way around the valley.
Atlanta Metro, the smart choice.
Come on, Dad.
Since the Overhead Door Company makes the original overhead door, the people who install and service them take them pretty seriously. Call or log on for the overhead door dealer nearest you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!
Welcome back to Notre Dame. The Crusaders 10 of 17 shooting in that first quarter. The Bulldogs 6 of 12. They were getting good shots, but what surprised me is how the Bulldogs were looking to push the tempo.
When you push the tempo and you're not used to it, playing on a small court like this, it probably gives you, that false sense that you could do that. It ends up you commit turnovers. Northern Lehigh has double the turnovers of Notre Dame.
Jordan Whalen with the basketball. A healthy 3 rims out. The follow up and in by Mitch Demko.
Nice position for Demko, picking up the miss from Whalen. Let's see if Northern Lehigh can tighten his defense up a little bit here. The middle's wide open.
Dave Salerno, a healthy 3, answers right back his first triple of the ball game. Salerno 3 of 4 from beyond the arc against the Pirates on Friday. Block and contact from Nick Piazza, his first foul. team's fourth.
I think Nick's in a little disbelief he didn't commit the foul, but, you know, as we see on this replay here, folks, you can see there's an awful lot of contact there.
Bigley kind of double pumped on his release of that first free throw attempt and missed it short. And 0 for 2 for Bigley. Giangiobi in close to the hoop. He won't miss too many from that range.
Now he worked the position fine, and they were fronting him, and all they have to do is lob it over the back. Backside help is too late getting there.
Giangiobi 3 for 3 from inside three-point range. Answering back with a triple is Mitch Demko at the other end. Salerno open again from three-point land. And the offensive rebound eventually secured by the Crusaders. Giangiobi again. His first miss in close to the basket, but he follows it up and is fouled. It goes without saying, Northern Lehigh cannot afford to have anyone in foul trouble.
Here we get a look at Giangiobi working the boards, and he's just somebody that has to be blocked out every time. He has 7 boards already.
That's a 15th foul on the Bulldogs. Unfortunately, that foul was on Nick Pappas. I say fortunately only because he does not have a foul so far for the Bulldogs. Coming in for Notre Dame, Matt Tannhauser, James Leary, Joe Birdie. Joining Giangiobi. And the foul on Notre Dame. And now checking in is Jeff Knappenberg, 6'2" senior. And I believe this will be official red freshman. They should have some music playing when these guys enter the ball game.
Well,
They're building a legacy already for themselves.
I think some of the things that we saw downstairs definitely should get started up. The face painters.
Yeah, the class they had down under the gym.
I need to get away from the guys. I thought they were going to try to paint me up here a little bit.
They're color coordinating their face paint and making sure everyone matched.
Yeah, that would ruin the job of the RCN makeup person that we have, doing our makeup if we go on air.
I don't think they pay someone enough to handle that chore. Through the lane, floater by Whalen, we're good. Ackerman bringing the ball up for Notre Dame. Knappenberger against the pressure, and now he reaches in and commits the foul. I tried with Pat Boyle a little bit. How long are you going to be sticking with this 13-player rotation? It seems like for the moment he's content to try to play as many guys as he can.
When you have 9 seniors, Chris, that's a tough one because you have to, try to get all involved to stay, positive in the flow. And if you give them a couple minutes, they're going to come to practice and give an effort.
Good execution there, little give and go. And Bigley, 3 of 3 from the floor.
A beautiful fade by Demko, where he gets a steal. He's ahead.
Whalen in transition. And you're seeing Whalen's on the fly making nice catch and layup to their end of the court. 5-point ball game. Bulldogs will get it back. Notre Dame, just a moment ago, led by 9 points. And now it's a mini Bulldog run of 4 points in a row.
I think you got your answer, Chris.
There's that short pressure. And Pat Boyle again. Fully substitutes Max Hughes, who checked in, made that steal. Midsack was checked in. He makes a steal. And a moving block. Wow. So Michael goes to the line to shoot. Andrew Kohler also in.
Off the turnover. Demko gets called for a block.
And Rich Ortner calls a timeout. Just like in that Salisbury game, the Bulldogs got behind early, worked their way back. They trailed only by 10 at halftime. And he was actually surprised how they were able to work back against the Falcons, and then Salisbury just lit them up in the second half.
Yeah, what really surprises me, Chris, is the fact that they got it down, and then they went back to those same turnovers, you know, that got them in trouble in the first place.
I'll give you the answer to the R&J Carpet Connection trivia question. Which Colonial League division had the most overall victories during the 07-08 season? Dennis guesses the West, and he is correct. The West overall, 55 wins, 52 for the East Division, and 40 for the teams in the South. And again, the West consisting of Caddy, Northwestern, Palmerton, and Northern Lehigh a season ago.
Yeah, it was those first three you mentioned. Palmerton didn't add too many, but, you know, those first three really, you know, had good years.
Mitzak at the line. He misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and then Hayden steps on the baseline. And another unforced turnover there by Northern Lehigh. And prior to that timeout, they did give Mitzak the basket. So that was a chance at a three-point play. Here the follow-up by Giangiovi is good. And he now leads all scorers with 8 as the Crusaders have bounced back from leading just by 5 to open up their largest lead of the night at 11 points. The Shortner not happy as he calls a timeout.
Get a replay here. Hughes in the corner. Giangiovi just going up, and it's like a man amongst the boys in there. He has 8 boards already this half. Rich Ortner calling another quick timeout because same thing happened the other night against Salisbury. He had called a timeout, went over something, and they just went out and they didn't do it. And now the same thing happened. I overheard him. He just told them.
He's been riding the seesaw here in the second quarter. Notre Dame a 6-2 run. Bulldogs a mini 4-0 run, and then Notre Dame now on a 6-0 run. Andrew Mitzak picking up his first foul, and the 6th Crusader foul. Hayden Charles at the line. He's the leading scorer on the team, 15.5 a ball game. One of just 3 seniors on the varsity roster. He likes that rim tonight. Gets another friendly roll. The first one falls through. Well, Pat Boyle's not happy, and he's going to ask the officials, Larry Ott and Jim Barker, to come over.
It's a question of how many team fouls.
You know, this is an important game early for Notre Dame because, as we said, Northern Lehigh really is in a rebuilding mode at least the first couple weeks of this season. And Notre Dame in that very competitive East Division, they can't afford to lose a game that on paper you would think they would have the advantage of.
Taking the point away, Chris.
Okay, so after they make the first free throw, they change the call and say not in the act of shooting. And so the Bulldogs will inbound at midcourt. Well, no, they had them down for 7 team fouls, and they only had 6 because it wasn't a shooting foul. So they took a point away for Northern Lehigh. They thought they were in the 1-and-1. Now they're in the 1-and-1. And Hayden Charles made things a lot easier on the scoreboard operator by making that free throw.
Right.
They were trying to figure out how to take a point off the board. Tony Corey came running over, kind of some puzzled looks down there, and now they can tack on one as Charles makes 2. Actually, now they have 26 on the scoreboard, which...
Yeah, they didn't... oh, no.
And now they've taken it away again.
That's right.
I better bring out my calculator early.
And the clock's running, and the ball's out of bounds.
And we had great food here today. And I want to thank the Notre Dame athletic staff and Tony, of course, for making sure we were all well fed. Little clock running won't hurt anyone.
No. It'll keep the crew happy, I know that.
Again, Bulldogs tip the ball out of bounds. Notre Dame inbounds. 3.5 left to play. Crusaders up by 9. And a basket on the floor before the shot. Giangiobi once again the victim. And this is the 16th foul on Northern Lehigh.
Right there, you got Hahn reaching in. Giangiobi just uses his body extremely well inside. He just posts up beautifully.
And he makes the front end of the 1-and-1. Normally in the Colonial League, 6'3", you're one of the biggest guys in the Colonial League, although we saw a couple of tall gentlemen the other night at Wilson and Saucon Valley. Both teams having multiple players, or actually Wilson having multiple players over 6'4", and Saucon Valley with a 6'7" man in the middle. Charles running the break. Good decision just backing away. And now the full 5-on-5.
But Giangiobi's going to be fine against those big guys because he uses his abilities. He knows his limitations, and he uses his body extremely well.
Probably a little bit more athletic than either of those two players right now as well. Here's a mid-sack on the break, blocked by Charles. And the loose ball picked up by Demko. Northern Lehigh again trying to push the tempo and drawing the foul at the other end. As Hughes goes down and picks up his first foul. Eberling to the line.
I mean, Demko, he just finally gets rid of it after people all over him. And look at the height of Eberling. I wished he would have used his left hand on that left side, but, you know, he got his way to the foul line, sank the first one with ease.
And 2 of 2. 4 of 4 overall. That was one of the few Achilles heels that the Bulldogs had last year. Sometimes their free throw shooting would kind of disappear on them. So far they've been solid so far. And here's a steal. Bulldogs. See, Demko was worried he was going to get called for a double dribble, but that ball was tipped, and Rich Ortner's over there telling him that, you know, you can touch that ball if another player gets their hand on it.
Demko's having a nice quarter here. He is making some aggressive mistakes, which I'm sure Rich can live with, but, you know, he really is trying to push things.
Well, how about the up by Heberling? We were told about his vertical leaping ability. He went way high in the air to bring down that pass, but the Bulldogs can't hang on to the basketball. Notre Dame sticking to a 9-point advantage as we cross the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter. Well, they were trying to go backdoor, and Giangiobi wasn't expecting the pass. Charles to Demko for 3. And if they've hit a couple of their three-pointers tonight, they'll be right back in this ballgame. Baseline jumper by Piazza's no good. Giangiobi kicks it back to his teammate. Reloading is Hughes. Giangiobi, third attempt. Fourth attempt, Giangiobi is good.
That just put him in double-figure rebounds in the first half alone.
I got him for double-figure points. And another friendly roll for Hayden Charles from the outside. Salerno looking for an open view. Goes backdoor again. Giangiobi. And an easy layup.
Fronting him is just not getting it done, Chris. They're fronting him. There was good help coming from the weak side. He's just uses it real well.
Giangiobi has already surpassed his season high in the 2 previous ball games. Hughes does not have the numbers, but he takes it himself anyway. You know, there are some games we may not see this many points in an entire ball game. And right now, Notre Dame at 42.
A small court, Chris. And that's what I put a lot of it to. And both teams are playing, you know, aggressive.
We will be back when Notre Dame hosts Wilson.
Oh, my God.
And this place will be a heck of a lot louder.
Oh.
We are thankful that people did not come out in droves as they normally do here at Notre Dame, because this place, seat for seat, is about as loud as any gym in the Lehigh Valley. Demko misses the first of two.
I think that night I'm going to try to parachute in here to the spot, Chris. I'm looking for a rafter, and I can just drop myself in, because I don't know how we're going to get up here.
If we were more athletic, we could climb through this window behind us. Maybe you can. I don't think I can make that. Blair Rossetto back into the ballgame for the Crusaders, 5'11" junior. And the second free throw is no good. And I think the Bulldogs are 0 for 4 since I said they've been shooting the ball well from the line tonight. Here comes the 5 freshmen, I believe. Leary, Tannhauser, Knappenberger, Ackerman, and Birdie. Charles misses the 3 ball. A rebound pulled down by Tannhauser. Ooh, a traveling violation, the call on Brenton Ackerman. I think the fans with the paint have to not only come up with the song, but the first time they came on, there was a little roar. There was a minor murmur in the stands when they came out. They got to build this thing. It's all marketing. Whalen driving through the lane. Back of the rim, no good, and that will do it. For the first half, lots of offense here at Notre Dame High School. The Crusaders right now in control at the midway mark, 42-29. We'll be back with first half numbers and highlights on the Overhead Door Company halftime show in just a moment.
Hey, basketball fans, if you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader, Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus, for the fabulous GE tip-off sale. Browse our huge selection of GE ranges, GE refrigerators, GE dishwashers, GE washers, and GE dryers. Now at Kleckner's, get great savings plus free delivery, free haul away of old, a full parts department, and their own factory-trained techs. Stop in today. See why Kleckner's has been serving the Lehigh Valley since 1945. 2 locations, Kleckner's, 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street, Emmaus.
He doesn't report to a management committee. He doesn't report to a marketing department. He reports to Mary Johnson's arthritis, to Sally Wickstrom's upset stomach, and to Greg Porter's poison oak. He's your family prescription center pharmacist. He lives and works right here in town, so that means he reports to you. Call Family Prescription Center today at 866-0709.
Taking the time to care, Family Prescription Center.
Mark Mulchaney and Power Realty's sole mission is unprecedented real estate service. With an undying commitment to quality, Mark Mulchaney provides you professionalism, outstanding service, wealth of knowledge, experience, and reliability. Mark Mulchaney and Power Realty, the power to move you. 610-433-6600 or on the web at powerrealtyhomes.com.
Put some color in your world with a new floor from Mohawk Color Center. We've earned our name by bringing style and beauty to some of the finest homes in the world, something Mohawk has been doing for over a century. For the greatest selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and even ceramic tile, from a name you can trust, Mohawk Color Center. Flooring made simple.
Visit R&J Carpet Connection, 922 North 3rd Street in Whitehall.
of the dreamers out there, hoping all of your holiday wishes come true. Happy holidays from RCN.
Welcome back to Notre Dame. Dennis Lobb, and the guy behind him is Chris Michael. We're trying to get my best side, so Dennis, you got to move forward and eclipse me completely here. But
I can.
We'll take a look at our first half numbers, and both teams shooting very well from the first half. I guess a little bit of a surprise from the Northern Lehigh side that you're getting such balance among such young players. Notre Dame, you almost expect that solid balance, although you look there and you see 7 different players on the scoreboard in that first half.
Well, they play so many, but your main two that we talked about coming in, Giangiobi and Hughes, definitely standing out here, almost have Northern Lehigh's total between the two of them.
And we'll look at some impressive shooting numbers from the floor as we look at the team numbers. Notre Dame over 60%, and Northern Lehigh at 55%, very respectable there. Big thing that really has killed Northern Lehigh more so is the turnovers, because they don't normally play that up-tempo style of game. With only 8 players, Rich Ortner was hoping to slow things down to them.
Yeah, coming in when I totaled up the turnovers, I'm surprised that it's even, but the turnovers have definitely hurt Northern Lehigh more. Notre Dame, getting more shots so they can afford some of those turnovers. But the big edge, Chris, is on the boards. And a lot of those we talked about were offensive boards. Giangiobi has more than the whole Northern Lehigh team.
And we'll take a look now at our first half highlights. A lot of offensive fireworks in the first 2 periods.
You get Jordan Whalen getting a shot. Mitch Demko with a fine putback. Hayden Charles dishing off for a wide open shot from Demko for a 3. Here's Hayden Charles again with the dish. Evan Bigley taking a strong to the hole. Here's Charles, their one returner, coming back coast to coast for the easy deuce. Here he is in the lane. Shooter's touch, Chris. And here it is again with another friendly roll here at Notre Dame. Soft rims. For Notre Dame, Nick Piazza from the corner for an easy 2. Salerno nails a 3. Max Hughes, the all-star returning guard. Here he is off the break. Turnover for an easy 2. Here's the workhorse, the player of the half, Joe Giangiobi. Just clears people out of the way and finds, just has a knack for the ball.
Start of the third quarter, Notre Dame with the basketball, leading 42-29. Notre Dame with their starters out on the court, Mitzak, Giangiobi, Salerno, Hughes, and Kohler. Shot from the corner pocket's no good. Chased down by Hahn. And he feeds it over to Whalen, who will start the second half. Charles, Eberling, and Bigley will start the second half for Rich Ortner, who's employing 2 of his reserves starting the third quarter. Turnaround shot and a block by Giangiobi. Hahn picks up the rebound. Going back to work inside is Bigley. 2 in battle with 3 players. Both Giangiobi and Kohler were there for blocks. And the second attempt no good. Giangiobi clears out the rebound.
Well, I want to credit number 42, Evan Bigley. He went right back after it. I mean, a lot of kids would shy away in that instance. He went right back after it.
And that, I imagine, is one of the things that Rich Ortner will be looking for this young team this year, for players to step up and be bangers, especially in the paint, against guys like Giangiobi and the Davidsons of the world down at Wilson and Franz of Saucon Valley.
Yeah, and he definitely proved something right there, and there's a reason why he's starting this half. And I'm sure we haven't seen the end of this guy playing. That possession right there really impressed me, Chris.
Giangiobi with points 16 and 17 tonight. Notre Dame extending its biggest lead to 15. Notre Dame has one league game in. That game against Palisades in the Jeff Daly tournament last Friday did count as a Colonial League game. Tonight's matchups around the Lehigh Valley are also Colonial League matchups. Stop and shoot by Hayden. Doesn't get the roll on this end of the court, but the foul is up and in by number 42. Once again, Evan Bigley. Bigley came in averaging 8. He has 8. A minute and a half gone by here in quarter number 3. Mitzak misses his shot. Just the second time tonight he's done that. At the other end, Whalen got stripped, but Giangiobi stepped on the baseline. I know we're just over a week into the season, but Giangiobi, I think, is going to get some MVP honors if he continues to play this well at both ends of the court.
Yeah, no question about it. He's just on a mission right now, and he is just a well-composed, he's a fine basketball player.
Bart Palumbo checks in, 2 points in the first half. Salerno matched up against Hahn. Now Charles, who can do it from anywhere on the court. And now Heberling underneath. Basket's no good, and the rebound's cleared out by Mitzak. Kohler in traffic. Foul on the floor. And that will be the first foul on the Bulldogs. Hayden Charles picking up his second foul. Little floater in from the outside is good by Max Hughes. He's now in double figures.
The beautiful run out of bounds play where the inbounds guy goes to the opposite corner.
Charles taking it to the rack strong for the second time today. A fast break layup. And Charles now has 10 points. Be interesting for the Bulldogs this year, with against teams like Northwestern and Palmerton that will probably struggle. Bulldogs do have a chance at making district playoffs come February.
I think they're going to get a lot better as the year goes on.
Salerno hitting his second triple from the outside tonight. And the Crusaders now up by 16. Too hard by Bigley. Foul is no good. Bigley doing battle with Palumbo inside. And the possession now favors Northern Lehigh.
That time Heberling gave a real nice effort on the offensive glass.
Whalen missed the 3-ball attempt, but a push called on the Crusaders. Mentioned earlier, the Bulldogs with just 3 seniors out of the 15 players on their varsity roster. 8 players are either in 9th or 10th grade on the varsity roster. The JV team for Notre Dame won easily against Northern Lehigh earlier, winning by double figures. Charles, turnaround shot. Offensive rebound by Bigley, and he draws the foul. Well, 2 of the players that are 9 starters coming in for Northern Lehigh have really played inspired basketball here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, and Demko gave them something in the second quarter, so, you know, I'm sure there's some things for them to build on. Notre Dame right now just has such depth. I mean, they can come out and play aggressive. I mean, Pat Boyle likes to play man-to-man aggressive defense. He can even do it more now because he has so much depth.
Team force turnover there for the Notre Dame defense. That was no good by Salerno. Back the other way, run the Bulldogs. Heberling. And shuffling his feet was Evan Bigley on the paint. And here comes another line change for Notre Dame. Piazza in, Giangiobi back in. Rosetto back in. And coming in for Northern Lehigh will be Nick Pappas. And Mitch Demko. Followed by good. Northern Lehigh looking to run, does not have the numbers, so Demko wisely pulls back. An 18-footer up and in, Mitch Demko. Now 3 of 6 from the floor for 7 points. Giovy playing beyond the arc. And now a foul on the Bulldogs. That's the 4th team foul on Northern Lehigh. And Evan Beagley picking up his first. A good turnover there for Notre Dame. Back the other way. Running is Charles. Layup's no good. And push is the call on Mitch Demko. That'll be his 2nd foul. And Notre Dame will get the ball.
Just trying to cut into that lead too much, and they forced something there and committed the turnover off the foul. Extension with a 2-2-1 half-court pressure.
Shot is no good. As you would imagine, a team that shot 42% struggling a little bit here in the 3rd quarter from the floor. And Northern Lehigh unable to dent the Crusaders' lead.
Jordan Whalen that time with a nice drive between 2 people. Threads it and goes up there and draws the foul.
Giovy picking up his 2nd foul. As Whalen makes the first of 2. Joey Saramula coming on for the Bulldogs. 6'1" junior swing man, averaging a little more than a point a ball game. One of the other transitions that Rich Ortner and the coaching staff are going to have to make is he's been around an entire starting 5 of guys that have been around the program for a long time, and he pretty much could say, okay, we do this, and that's it. Whereas now he has to take a step back and talk over a lot more things and spend more time in practice, as opposed to those experienced guys like McEachran and Whalen, who pretty much knew where everybody else was going to be on the court at any time. Max Hughes hit that last shot from the outside. Hughes and Giovy combining to 30 points so far. Working inside Bigley. He is not backing down. He's now in double figures.
He's working hard out there, and he's earning some quality minutes here in this 3rd quarter. Can't say enough about Notre Dame's unselfishness. I mean, they move the ball. They really move the ball against that zone, and they draw opponents and defenders, and then they just pass, and they get virtually uncontested shots.
Blair Rossetto with a pretty move and equally impressive shot. His first field goal. A foul in the act of shooting on Bigley. That's not a foul Pat Boyle probably is happy with. Ball was already released by the shooter.
Andrew Kohler was trying to fight through a screen, and instead of, making some contact and swimming your way through it, he used both of his hands and pushed the guy out of the way. And, Larry Ott was in perfect position to make that call.
Charles comes on for Northern Lehigh. Salerno on for the Crusaders. Salerno chasing it down. And a foul on Mitch Demko.
You see Demko checking Salerno out of bounds. That was just a bad execution on an out-of-bounds play underneath their own basket, and Charles was forced to throw it back towards half, and, Notre Dame hustled.
This Crusader team not only is athletic, but they're scrappy. You saw the hustle, even though his team is in control up by 15. Ball comes loose, hits the official, and then a jump ball is the call. And the possession now favors Notre Dame.
That's something, Chris, you're always going to see from a Notre Dame team. These guys are going to hustle. I mean, they give it all-out effort all the time, every time they come into the gymnasium.
The only thing that's contrary about this team as opposed to previous Pat Boyle teams the last 5-10 years is that we don't have about 7 or 8 three-pointers made at this point. They've kind of gotten away from that stand outside the four-guard look that they had a few years ago. Obviously a different makeup of team at that point, but it was interesting. Every year they said, this is the year we're not going to be a three-point shooting team. And you look 2 weeks into the season, and they were way out in front of everybody and three-pointers made.
I've learned not to believe everything that Coach Pat Boyle says, but you know, when you have Andrew Kohler and you have Joe Giambi, and Andrew Mitzak and some of these other horses inside, you've got to get the ball into them.
Bobby Hong among the substitutions checking in with 46 seconds left. Little backdoor play for Hahn. Layup doesn't go. Giambi right in the middle of things and gets the rebound. Notre Dame looks like they're going to slow down and play for the final shot. Their largest lead right now of 17 points. Wide open down low shot. An easy deuce they'll take with 6 on the board. And the Bulldogs half-court heave is off the mark. Crusaders using the three-point bomb a little bit more here in quarter number 3 as they extend their lead at the end of the third quarter and lead 58-39.
Hey, basketball fans, if you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader, Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus for the fabulous GE tip-off sale. Browse our huge selection of GE ranges, GE refrigerators, GE dishwashers, GE washers, and GE dryers. Now at Kleckner's, get great savings plus free delivery, free haul away of old, a full parts department, and their own factory-trained techs. Stop in today. See why Kleckner's has been serving the Lehigh Valley since 1945. 2 locations, Kleckner's, 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street, Emmaus.
He doesn't report to a management committee. He doesn't report to a marketing department. He reports to Mary Johnson's arthritis, to Sally Wickstrom's upset stomach, and to Greg Porter's poison oak. He's your family prescription center pharmacist. He lives and works right here in town, so that means he reports to you. Call Family Prescription Center today at 866-0709.
Taking the time to care, Family Prescription Center.
Your under-insulated home can cost you hundreds. Now is the time to re-insulate with Lehigh Valley Insulation. In less than a day, our experienced crew of installers will thoroughly re-insulate your home. Our new insulation is cleaner and more energy efficient than ever. Plus, it's very affordable. Enjoy seasonable comfort under a blanket of premium insulation and cut your heating and cooling costs. Make sure your home measures up. Call Lehigh Valley Insulation for a free consultation.
It's comfort that pays.
Morning, Dad.
Since the Overhead Door Company makes the original overhead door, the people who install and service them take them pretty seriously. Call or log on for the overhead door dealer nearest you.
Here's to all of the dreamers out there, hoping all of your holiday wishes come true. Happy holidays from RCN.
Welcome back to Notre Dame, along with Dennis Lobb, Chris Michael. Glad you could join us. Game 2 of tonight's high school basketball doubleheader. A couple personnel issues we have to get to. Keith Groller last night became a grandfather, called me this morning and told me the news, so congratulations to him on becoming a granddad. He doesn't like being called grandpa, though, as I found out this morning. And coming up this weekend, a very special lady in the Dennis Lobb household is going to be celebrating a birthday. Mackenzie, I believe, is celebrating birthday number 4.
Number 5.
Number 5 already.
Number 5 on Monday night, and unfortunately, Dad is going to the Eagles game Monday night, but her ice cream party is tomorrow up at the ice cream in Walnutport. So all you Northern Lehigh fans, you know, I'm giving you some props tonight. And her adult party is tomorrow evening.
The thing I don't get about this parent, a little one, after a couple months they become 1. It seems like a couple months later they're 2. A couple months later they're 4. It's by fast. Long three-pointer from the outside. Jordan Whalen banks home his first three-pointer of the night. He has 6 overall.
That'll make his brother Jake, who's in attendance tonight, happy. I'm sure he's jotting some mental notes to give him.
2 attempts by Notre Dame, no good. Third attempt, draws the foul. Giangiobi, the man with the offensive rebound, and draws the foul. Jake Whalen was not a guy that you'd probably want to look into fundamentals. I mean, he was flying all over the place, shooting up balls left and right, but just had so much natural athletic ability that he all made it work.
He was smooth. He was a smooth player. He really toned his game down for the team concept his last year or 2, and that's when things really took off for that team. What a job he did, and what a player he was for Northern Lehigh. And I'm sure it's frustrating for Rich, but they're going to be okay.
Turnaround shot by Heberling is nice. He has 10 points. 3 players in double figures for Northern Lehigh. Certainly some positives for the Bulldogs' performance against a very strong team. Long three from Salerno buries his 3rd triple of the night. He has 10.
Yeah, so far Notre Dame is really clicking, you know, on the cylinders here in the first 3 games. And we'll see how it plays out.
Salerno battles, gets the layup and the foul. Shot that one as it's going on his head. And a chance at a old 3-point play.
Yeah, we definitely got to look at this one again. And, you know, what can I say? You know, you can see what that's about. That's a play there.
Northern Lehigh calls for a timeout. 6 1/4 left to go in this ball game. Notre Dame right now, Giangiobi, the top scorer, 19 points. Hughes and Salerno also in double figures. Heberling, Feigley, and Charles with 10 points apiece. But Notre Dame, they led by only 5 midway through that second quarter, went on a 6-0 run, and then led by 13 at the half and never looked back in the second half. A reminder to tune into RCN Sports Talk Thursdays at 6 p.m. We're looking forward to hearing your sports opinions and questions when you call in. And now you can send us an email. On our next program, we'll recap Liberty's game against Bethel Park. And we'll talk Lehigh Valley Conference basketball with new head coaches Steve Yoder and Andy Stevens taking over now at Parkland. You can send us your opinions and questions at any time by emailing us at rcnsportstalk@rcn.com. Our panel will respond to your comments live on the air. Give us a call live or email us at rcnsportstalk@rcn.com and tune in for the RCN Sports Talk Show this Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on RCN. Big thanks to Dennis Lobb and Al Blunt for joining Joe Craig and myself on last night's program. A very good show. Thanks to Dennis for his participation.
Always ready, willing, and able. Yeah, we got some phone calls last night, that's for sure, and some emails.
Yeah, we want to extend best of luck to the Liberty football team tomorrow as they take on Bethel Park at Hershey. 7 p.m. You can see that game on RCN down position 97. That's a 2-pointer from Demko, and he now has 9.
Hey, he came in averaging 9, and, you know, when he gets in there, he gives him some offense. He does, you know, he has committed some turnovers, but...
All right, how about Salerno has a wherewithal not to rush it in there and just pull back, change his trajectory on the shot, and got a high 5-foot jumper to go. Layup doesn't go there by Heberling, but he draws the foul.
Salerno, he's listed at 6'8". I mean 5'8", I'm sorry. I think that's a little generous. As big as tall as he is, that's how big his heart is. I mean, he has him drive, and he gets in there, and he's doing some nice things for Notre Dame tonight.
He's the only starter insignificant from the varsity team last year. Midsack across the timeline. Avoids the half-court trap. Salerno now puts it on the floor and gets an open layup. Mr. Salerno having one heck of a second half. 13 points coming in quarter number 3 and 4. Notre Dame lead now over 20.
A real pep on defense, too. He's been hauling a lot of trouble.
Tough play for Demko inside. The pass handcuffed him. Looking at some of the Notre and Lehigh players right now, they're not happy about the score. You can see that on their faces. And that's something you might see down the road, that fire that they're feeling at this point, kind of spread out into future ball. Sometimes a difficult transition when you go from the JV team to playing at a little faster level and certainly more aggressive style of basketball.
Yeah, no question about it. But, you know, you've got to follow the man with experience, and that's Hayden Schultz for this team. And, you know, he's putting up the numbers. Here he gets forward.
Takes it back to Hahn. Ball is up and in. Heberling now with 12 points. Steal by Charles. Northern Lehigh is not going quietly. Battling here. Charles puts it up and in.
Oh, they're going full court trap now. Maybe make Notre Dame rush. Nice.
Way up at the other end for Colombo. Executed brilliant by the Crusaders. On calling for the basketball against Salerno. Fancy move. And ball goes up. And Lehigh will get another look. Jordan Flynn off the bench, along with Nick Pappas. And coming in for Notre Dame, Nick Piazza. And Blair Rossetto. Hayden off a screen. Got Beagley inside. And now we have a reach-in foul on the Bulldogs. Don't forget to tune in to our doubleheader on Tuesday. That will feature Allen and Central Catholic. And Liberty and Easton will be our tape delay game, provided Dennis and I can find the new gym.
Yes.
We weren't over there last year, so we got to find where the new gym is, and looking forward to seeing it for the first time.
We might have to meet up, you know, to go up the hill there, and or maybe Jack Logic will point us in the right direction, and we'll get up there. I'm really excited about seeing this new gym, though.
And it'll be interesting to see how many players from the football team are there on Tuesday and ready to go, and what kind of shape they're in as they make that tough transition from football to basketball.
I don't believe that they will play in the game. They will be there in street clothes.
Running layup is up and in. Charles now with 14. By Hughes is good. He now has 15 points.
He's a great shooter. You give him a wide open shot around that foul line, that's 2 points.
Wales in a tough three, almost shot that flat-footed. Baseline jumper by Rossetto is no Salerno an offensive rebound. Normally, this is the time in the game where the coach might think about going to his reserves, but when you play 13 on a regular basis, there's no one left.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to see, you know, that possible line change once again soon, but you know, he still needs to work his rotation down. I'm sure come February, you aren't going to see all 13 people getting in the game. I'd be surprised. So he's got to look for some combinations here.
The one player who will not be able to play all year long will be Scott Caligar, a 6'3" junior forward who had an exceptional season on the cross-country team for Notre Dame, one of their top performers on an undefeated cross-country team. Right before basketball season started, he was in a very serious car accident, and he spent 13 days in the hospital, and right now he's in a wheelchair. His best prognosis is to hope to be back and play for a senior year in 2010. But he was here last week for the Jeff Daly tournament. He was here earlier today supporting his team, and we wish a speedy recovery to Scott and hope to see him back playing for his year next year. Andrew Miller checks in for Notre Dame, 5'10" junior. Whalen puts up a tough shot. That looks like a Jake Whalen type shot. Off bounce, incredibly out of control, and still put up a decent shot and foul.
And Andrew Miller, who just got the ball game, wanted to get his name in the scorebook, so he commits a foul in the first 5 seconds of being in there.
Bulldogs are a field goal away from having 5 players in double figures tonight. Good balance by Northern Lehigh, but equally good balance by the Crusaders. Scores for Notre Dame, as getting a basket inside is Rossetto, his second field goal.
I mean, it's fine and dandy for Northern Lehigh to get 5 guys in double figures. The thing that Rich has to really work on, he can't give up 78 points here. He's going to give up over 8 points in 32 minutes. So defensively, he's got to find something that works.
And that's been a common theme for Northern Lehigh so far early in this season. Against Salisbury and again tonight, just unable to stop the other team's offense. Salisbury scored 71 points, and Notre Dame will probably crack the 80-point mark. Means that I'll probably be missing a few points for the Notre Dame offensive totals tonight when we run down the scoring numbers. You know, that Temple education. I wait for you to take fun of Temple.
No. I'm just going to say, I'm going to be nice, Chris. I'm not like you and attack right away.
Don't make me call Jim Lindenmoyer and
I'm going to say,
for some comments.
We're going to give you a pass. It's the second game of the year. Don't worry about it, Chris, if your totals don't work out. It's Christmas time. I'm in the giving mood.
Whalen now with 12 points, and Notre Dame turns it over at the other end court. Miller the rebound.
Guys looking to get in that scorebook here and looking to crack the mid-8-0 number. Haven't done it in the last 2-3 possessions.
Well, thanks to Brian Vogt, who's much smarter than I am. Got the missing field goals. Run down all the numbers for you in just a moment. Bulldogs look inside, and Beagley will go to the free throw line. We'll start now because there's a lot of games to get to. Mitzak with 6 points, G&G 21, Palumbo 4, Rossetto 4, Salerno 15, Kohler 6 with 18, and Piazza with 6. Run one more for Beagley. Northern Lehigh's next in a moment. And we'll be announcing Rockwood's player of the game in a short time span. Second free throw, no good. Triple teamed was down low. Notre Dame trying to get him in the scorebook. Works back defensively. Whalen with a long three. Miller the rebound. 2-on-2 break. This is Matt McGivern controlling the ball. Notre Dame, 5'10" junior. James Leary now with the basketball. And the foul is up and in. Matt McGivern gets in the column with a deuce. For Northern Lehigh, Charles with 14, Sling and Whalen with 12, Demko 10, Eagley with 11. 3-point attempt, no good by Hahn. He did not score. And Notre Dame will have it with 10 seconds left.
Hahn came in averaging 9, had a rough shooting night here tonight, but that's not going to, be many nights here.
Crusaders fans with the face paint are standing. They enjoyed what they saw tonight, as did all the Crusaders fans. Notre Dame got the lead early. Comes out to a 14-6 lead. Led 22-14 at the end of one, 42-29 at the end of 2 periods. And they win going away 80-63. Our Yakos player of the game, Joseph Giangiobi, 21 points tonight. Some blocks, a lot of rebounds, a couple steals.
Very unselfish player, Chris. Workhorse inside and so many off the offensive glass. And he's just such a big part also of the offense where it's tough to play him. If you don't play in front of him, they'll just get it to him. He'll turn face up and score. If you do front him, they'll throw it over the top. And he's just athletic enough. He just gets it done. He's been playing now. This is, his 3rd year, and he has another year. So he's just had a great game tonight.
Sponsor of our 3rd and 4th quarters tonight, Power Realty. We thank Power Realty for sponsoring second half action. And before we get out here, Notre Dame with a lot of positives tonight. They scored 80 points. If you're scouting the Crusaders, what do you tell opposing teams as a potential weakness from this Crusader ball club?
Well, they will turn the ball over, and you have to take advantage of what they give you. And what they give you is such tight man-to-man defense that you have to use that against them. How do you use it against them? You have to go backdoor to the basket, and you have to take it right at them. Definitely their 2 main scorers, Hughes and Giangiobi, they're the guys that are going to be doing it night in and night out. You just got to give them their points, just stop the other, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 guys, do a good job on them.
Notre Dame goes to 3-0. Northern Lehigh now 1-2. We have the Northampton wrestling duels coming up tomorrow at 6 o'clock. If you want to watch Liberty take on Bethel Park, that game will be on PCN. Dial position 97 tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Go Hurricanes tomorrow. And then Dennis and I will be back with more high school basketball on Tuesday night. Liberty and Easton will be the tape delay game. Gary Laubach and Dick Tracy will have Allen Central live at 7 p.m. And then RCN Sports Talk next Thursday at 6. That will do it. Notre Dame wins 80-63. For Dennis Laub, our director Chris Popick, and the RCN Sports crew, I'm Chris Michael. Good night, God bless, and thanks for tuning in to RCN Sports.